The Valliappan Olaganathan Chidambaram Pillai, popularly known by his initials V.O.C, also known as Kappalottiya Tamilan, the Tamil Helmsman, was a Tamil political leader. He was a disciple of Bal Gangadhar Tilak. He launched the first indigenous Indian shipping service between Tuticorin and Colombo with the Swadeshi Steam Navigation Company, competing against British ships. At one time a member of the Indian National Congress, he was later charged with sedition by the British government and sentenced to life imprisonment. His barrister license was revoked. Early life. V.O. Chidambaram Pillai was born on 5 September 1872 in Ottapaduram, Tuticorin district to Olaganathan Pillai and Paramayammal. When Chidambaram was 6 years old, he learnt Tamil from the teacher Veera Perumal Navi. He heard stories about Lord Shiva from his head mother and stories from Ramayana from his grandfather. He heard stories from Mahabharata told by Subramanya Pillai. As a child, he played goli, kabaddi, horse riding, swimming, stilt walking, archery, wrestling, silambatam and chess. He learnt English from a taluk officer named Krishnan in the evenings. When Krishnan was transferred, Chidambaram's father built a school with the help of the villages and appointed Valliappan Pillai from Ettayapuram as the English teacher. The school was run by a priest at Padyamatha. At 14, Chidambaram went to Tuticorin to continue his studies. He studied at St. Xavier's High School and Caldwell High School, Tuticorin and Hindu College High School, Tirunelveli. Chidambaram worked as taluk office clerk for some time before his father sent him to Tiruchirappalli to study law. He passed his pleadership exam in 1894, returning to Ottapaduram to become a pleader in 1895. In Chennai, Chidambaram met Ramakrishnanantha, who S&2 belonged to Swami Vivekananda Ashram, who advised him to do something for the nation. Here he met the Tamil poet Bharathiyar, who shared his political ideology. The two men became close friends. Political life. Background. In the 1890s and 1900s, India's independence movement and the Swadeshi movement, initiated by Bal Gangadhar Tilak and Lala Lajpat Ray of Indian National Congress, were at the peak. From 1892, Chidambaram was influenced by Tilak Maharaj and became his disciple. Along with Subramanya Shiva and Subramanya Bharathi, he became a prominent spokesperson for the cause in Madras Presidency. Following the partition of Bengal in 1905, Chidambaram entered politics, joining the Indian National Congress and taking a hardliner stance. He also presided at the Salem District Congress session. Companies and institutions. Chidambaram established many institutions like Swadeshi Prajasabha, Dharmasangha Nesivu Salai, National Godown, Madras Agro-Industrial Society Limited and D. Sabhamana Sangham. In response to the British India Steam Navigation Company's trade monopoly, Chidambaram started an Indian-owned shipping company. He registered the Swadeshi Shipping Company in October 1906. The capital of the company was 10 lakh rupees. The number of shares was 40,000 and the face value of each share was Rs. 25. Any Asian could become a shareholder. The director of the company was Pandit Eva Azaminda and the founder of Madurai Tamil Sangam, Janab Haji Muhammad Bakir Site, paid Rs. 200,000 for 8,000 shares, which was the first capital for the company. In the beginning, the company didn't own any ships, instead leasing them from Shoreline Steamers Company. The B.I.S.N.C. pressured Shoreline Steamers to cancel the lease. In response, Chidambaram leased a single large freighter from Sri Lanka, realizing the need for the Swadeshi Shipping Company to own its own vessels. Chidambaram traveled around India selling shares in the company to raise capital. He vowed, "I will come back with ships, otherwise I will perish in the sea." he managed to secure sufficient funds to purchase the company's first ship, the SS Gallia. Shortly afterwards they were able to acquire the SS Larvo from France. In response to the new competition, the B.I.S.N.C. reduced the fare per trip to Re1 per head. Swadeshi Company responded by offering a fare of Re0.5. The British company went further by offering a free trip to the passengers plus a free umbrella. However, nationalist sentiment meant that the free service was underused. The B.I.S.N.C. attempted to buy out Chidambaram, but he refused the deal. The ships commenced regular service between Tuticorin and Colombo, against opposition from British traders and the imperial government. Coral Mill strike. On the 23rd of February 1908, Chidambaram gave a speech at Tuticorin, encouraging the workers at Coral Mill to protest against the low wages and harsh working conditions. 4 days later, the workers of the Coral Mill went on strike. Chidambaram and Subramanya Shiva led the strike. The demands included incremental earnings, weekly holidays and other leave facilities. Chidambaram ensured the strike was widely publicized, and it quickly gained popular support. On the 6th of March, the head clerk Chidambaram Pillai met Chidambaram and said that the management was ready to concede the demands. Chidambaram went with 50 workers and met the managers, who agreed to increase the wages, to reduce the working hours and to give leave on Sundays. The workers went back after a 9-day strike. The outcome of the strike encouraged the workers of other European companies, who also gained increased wages and better treatment. Aurobindo appreciated Chidambaram and Shiva for the unequaled skill and courage with which the fight was conducted in his Vande Mataram daily. On 13 March 1908, her arrest and imprisonment. By 1908, Chidambaram's political involvement drew the attention of the British. Hearing of his intention to speak at a rally celebrating the release of Bengali leader Bipin Chandra Pal Winch, a British official invited Chidambaram to meet him in Tirunelveli with his political comrade Subramanya Shiva. At the meeting, Winch expressed concern at Chidambaram's activities and asked him to give assurances that he would not participate in any political revolt. Chidambaram refused to accept his conditions, and so he and Shiva were arrested on the 12th of March 1908. Their arrest met with widespread protest. In Tirunelveli, shops, schools and colleges were closed in protest, and rioting broke out. Tirunelveli municipal office, post offices, police stations and municipal courts were attacked. A general strike was declared in Tuticorin, which was the first political strike in India. Public meetings and processions were held, and 4 people were killed by the police. Although his supporters were able to raise sufficient funds for bail, Chidambaram refused to leave the jail without the release of Shiva and his other comrades. Subramanya Bharathi and Subramanya Shiva also appeared in the court for questioning for the case instituted against Chidambaram. He was charged under sections 123A and 153A of the Indian Penal Code for speaking against the British and giving shelter to Shiva. Chidambaram refused to take part in the proceedings. He was charged with sedition and a sentence of 2 life imprisonments was imposed. He was confined in the central prison, Coimbatore. The judgment was widely condemned in the popular press, with even the British Statesman magazine claiming that it was unjust. Chidambaram appealed the sentence in High Court, gaining a reduced punishment of 4 years imprisonment and 6 years in exile. An appeal to the Privy Council led to a further reduction in sentence. Chidambaram was interned in Coimbatore and Kannur jail. He was not treated as a political prisoner, nor was the sentence simple imprisonment. He was rather treated as a convict sentenced to life imprisonment and required to do hard labor, which caused his health to suffer. The historian and Tamil scholar R.A. Padmanabhan would later note in his works that Chidambaram was yoked to the oil press like an animal and made to work it in the cruel hot sun. From prison Chidambaram continued correspondence, maintaining a steady stream of legal petitions. He was finally released on 12 December 1912. To his dismay, the Swadeshi Steam Navigation Company had already been liquidated in 1911, and the ships auctioned to the competitors. The company's first ship, the SS Gallio, was sold to the British Shipping Company. Later life. Upon Chidambaram's release, he was not permitted to return to his Tirunelveli district. With his law license stripped from him, he moved to Chennai with his wife and 2 young sons. He ran a provisions store and a kerosene store. In 1920, Chidambaram withdrew from the Indian National Congress, citing ideological differences with Mahatma Gandhi. He focused his efforts on establishing labor unions in Madras and writing. After moving to Coimbatore, Chidambaram worked as a bank manager. Dissatisfied with the income, he petitioned the court seeking permission to practice law again. Judge E. H. Wallace gave permission to restore Chidambaram's pleadership license. To show his gratitude, Chidambaram named his last son Valliappan. Chidambaram moved to Kappalottiya and practiced as a lawyer. He rejoined the Congress Party in 1927 and presided over the third political conference held at Salem. He said that he wanted to join Congress again because he noticed a remarkable change in the policies of Congress, and he was happy to note that the policies which he did not approve of were withdrawn one by one. However, after the Salem Conference, Chidambaram again severed his contact with Congress. In 1932, he moved to Tuticorin, where he spent his time writing and publishing Tamil books. Written works: Mayuram 1914, Mayurivu 1915, Anthology 1915, Autobiography 1946, many articles in various magazines. Translation works: Literary notes of Thirukural. Published works: Thirukural with literary notes of Manakudava 1917. Tolkappiyam with literary notes of Ilampurana 1928. Post-independence honors. Posthumously, Chidambaram is known by the titles Kappalottiya Tamilan and Chekkalutha Chemal, a great man who pulled the oil press in jail for the sake of his people. His ship is situated near Marina Beach. Stamp. The Indian Posts and Amp Telegraphs Department of India issued a special postage stamp on 5 September 1972, on the occasion of his birth centenary. Statues of Chidambaram. Many statues of Chidambaram have been commissioned. Some of the more notable are located at the entrance of the Congress Committee Office, Royapeta, Chennai; at the Arch of Paliyamkottai, Tirunelveli; at Marina Beach, Chennai; at the port, Tuticorin; at the entrance of Kattuparamakudi, unveiled at the 18th of November 2012 by Tamil Nadu V.O.C. Peravai, Ramanathapuram district; at Simakal, Madurai; at the commemorative building of V.O.C. Tirunelveli. The Tuticorin port was rechristened as V.O. Chidambaram Port Trust by Manmohan Singh, Prime Minister, and G.K. Vasan, Union Minister of Shipping. At Theni district and Amp, Bodian Amp and Amp, Ma.Ho.C. MP Shivan Yanam, popularly known as Ma.Ho.C., wrote the biography of Chidambaram and named it as Kappalottiya Tamilan. Later Chidambaram was remembered by all as Kappalottiya Tamilan. It was Ma.Ho.C. who brought the fame of Chidambaram to the limelight. Books written by V.O.C. on V.O. Chidambaram Pillai, Kappalottiya Tamilan, Kappalottiya Chidambaran and Valliappan Chidambarana. Film portrayal. In 1961, Kannada film director Valliappan made a film of Chidambaram's life titled Kappalottiya Tamilan. Chidambaran was portrayed by Nadigar Thilagam Savaji Ganesan, Subramanya Shiva by T.K. Shanmugam and Subramanya Bharathi by S.V. The story of this movie is based on V.O.C.'s biography, Kappalottiya Tamilan. Bibliography: Appaniswamy, Parambarai, Bharathi Bhuttakalayam, Chen.